Hi friends, Christine here, and I want to do a quick introduction to this video because it's one of a series of a few videos that I use different materials that I emboss and distress to make various things, mainly tags in this case. But I want to just mention that because I did the projects kind of concurrently and while other paint was drying, I did something else, that when I edited the video, I tried to not be too redundant in the instruction, but give you enough instruction to be able to do each process. I hope I succeeded. So that said, it's worthwhile for you to watch all of them, or at least, skim them, because I use a variety of materials, again, that are free and that should be in your house. And if you don't have them, you know someone who does. That's for this, and I hope it sparks some different ideas for you to do something even greater. So, on an unrelated topic, I have stuff, and I have so much stuff I can't even tell you. This is obviously stuff I've used for my own personal projects and to design kits. I always print out every single thing I create so that I'm sure that you're going to get the best product and best result. But that means I have a lot of things and that I humanly cannot use. So if you would like to get a small pack of Happy Mail, I would like to choose a few random people, and I'll do that simply by if you comment in any of the videos with this introduction that you want some of the swag, and again, I make no warranty. I mean, some of it is torn. I mean, I'm not always that professional when I'm trying to make a design. Some things like this I will probably skip, although that's a nice piece of cardboard. But anyway, so you can see what's in here, the kinds of things, and then there's this whole other small bucket of goodies, other smaller things that, again, I can't possibly use them in my lifetime. So if you think you'd like to get some mail, a little surprise packet, then again, just give me a comment, let me know, and then I'll arrange with the selected commenters and how to do that and make that possible. So I'm sorry I have to limit this to the United States. I hate doing that, but it's not economically feasible for me to ship something internationally at this point. That may change, and I will try and make that a possibility. But until then, go watch the video, and I hope you learn some fun things to make beautiful little grungy items for your journals. Bye. So this is just a quick little video that I made because I made this, and it is a big tag, a journaling tag for a journal or whatever that is made from an actual soda can and cereal box or cereal bar box, cookie box, cracker box, but of a thinner material than, say, Cheez-Its. I don't have one with me. I've used them all. But it's part of the series I've been doing about embossing various materials. And so that's what this video is about. And if you hang out, you'll see how easy it is to add another element, a metal element, to your journal. All right, folks. So what often happens is I'm like halfway through making something before I think, oh, I should film this so I could share it with others. Sometimes you just start and it goes. So I'm already this far into this project, and I will go back and I will show you things like how I cut this can open. And essentially it's with this big honkin' utility knife. Just stick it in to the can. And you could go all the way around, but I find it's easier to use crappy scissors. And I have these, the basic super junky scissors, and I just cut. Oops, a little wet still. Let's get her off our girl. Oh, very wet. I thought this was dry already. Okay, not a problem, just paper. So, once I have it this far, and again, you need to be careful. This is sharp stuff here. But then I just pick a spot to come down, go to the bottom, and then cut off the bottom. And you just want to make sure that you free it from this bent part, because otherwise it will not lay flat. So then you cut. Okay, so then the first thing I do once I have it at this point is I take it to the paper cutter. I dry it off, take it to the paper cutter, and get rid of these sharp edges, because these are killer. And then it's it. Then you can go on with the video as I show you. It's that simple, but do be careful because it is sharp. And now I'm sounding like your grandmother. Anyway, go have fun. Use the corner of an object, like a table, to help flatten it out, make it go the other way, which is you just want to roll it in the opposite direction, which is much more easily done on a table. So that's what I'm going to do, but I'm just showing you what I'm doing. I'm just rolling it like this against the corner of the table. So like that. So I will do that right here, but you probably won't see most of it. I'm holding my hand and kind of squeegeeing it. Oh, that was a little bit too robust. Now it's going the other way. Kind of like curling ribbon. So you just want to find where's a pretty good medium. That's good enough. For what we're doing, that's good enough. So then what we're doing is we are embossing it. We're going to emboss it. I'm using the same folder that I've been using for the projects that I'm doing right now, which created that. And I'll talk more about that later, but this is all I did. Now, because I want to use the same technique and paint one side and then sand it off, I'm putting it can print side up. Putting it on here. And I'm not even worrying about them not getting the whole thing. I'm going to probably sacrifice a lot of cans. So now I'm just going to emboss it. And it's a little light, like it feels like it might be going, I mean, I can see it's embossing, but I think I want to stick one more piece of paper in here and then go the other way with just slight more pressure. Okay, so now that's done. And you can see it is beautiful and lovely on the other side. And now I'm going to take this and paint this side. And I will do that outdoors and let it dry for a bit. I don't think I have to let it fully dry because I'm going to take it off and I don't want it to stick to everything. So I'll be back. All right, so I took that piece of tin out to the clothesline where I sprayed it with this paint, a flat black Rust-Oleum. That's good for wood, metal, plastic, and more. And same, I did another piece with this flat white. And they're out there. And hopefully my husband won't ask why our clothespins are all painted different colors, but I think he knows better. So I'm letting that dry, maybe an hour, get it so it can be handled, and then we're going to come back in and sand it. So I'll be back. So I've painted both of these tin cans that I have. Yeah, I painted the wrong side of that one. I'm an idiot. What was I thinking? I have to go paint this one again. But I painted this one, and I painted it white, and you can still see through it, but that doesn't matter, because once we start sanding away some of the paint, it becomes so you can see it in parts, and that's fine. I'm using a fine sandpaper to start, just I wanted to see what it would do, and then I'm going to change to this heavier stuff and really take away some of this. So you can see very different. And once we cut this up in a couple of different ways, the fact that that might be a logo won't show. Okay, so once we cut that, you wouldn't really tell that that was a logo. I had to go take a phone call. So I'm back to doing this one. I took the other black one out to paint the correct side. I don't know what's wrong with me. And you can see it's a little windy and we are a little splattered with spray paint. So I'm just taking some of this off here. Very pretty. Okay, so cover up like that, like you would not assume that this was anything like a logo. Paint off there. Oh, I just vacuumed this too. I probably should have put paper down. Anyway. So there it is, very pretty. And I'm going to let that sit for a minute and think about how I want to use it. I do have an idea, but I'm going to wait for the black to come out of the, I'm going to let it dry for an hour or so. I'm not going to paint the back of this at all. It's got some white spatters on it from the wind, but then we'll play with that. So I'm a little bit all over the place here today with all these projects, but they're all similar and related. So here is the other piece, the piece of, yes, metal, tin, the tin can. So you can see this one's painted on both sides because I mistakenly first painted the wrong side. And I've painted the right side, and it has been drying for about 40 minutes. And that's all I'm going to give it. And I am going to start to sand this. I'm going to put it under here, though. Let me put this under it so I can clean up. So I don't want to take it all off, obviously. Just in spots. And hopefully some of the blue will show up because that's kind of pretty. All right, so I don't know if you can see this on camera that well. I'm using a pretty heavy grit sandpaper. I think I'll switch to the lighter stuff. And somewhere on, here we go. I have a smaller piece. I'm just going to take off the edges. So there you go. Look at it. And I don't think you can see, I mean, I don't know if you can see, there's blue in here and there's blue there and blue there from the back of the can, from the label of the can, which has blue on it. So now this is done, and I'll show you next, or in some succession, what we're going to do with it. I am looking at part of it thinking I could take a little bit more off there. Just a little. All right, yeah, that's better. Okay, so now I've got it. A nice, very, fancy Victorian feeling pattern. I will probably, with all of these, the paint, the tin, the paper, hit it with a little sealer once it fully dries, and that just to keep that paint on. For example, these parts, I'm going to hit it with the sealer, and it's a matte sealer, so it shouldn't add anything to it, but it should protect it from the paint flicking off when you don't want it to. So I'll be back. I've been thinking as I've been standing here looking at the mess that I need to clean up. And I have an idea that I want to try. So this is purely experimental. It may or may not work, or it might sort of work. Who knows? Need this. Okay, so what I'd like to do is use this, because I do like the metal frame feeling. And I know you can replicate this with paper and stuff, but I like knowing this is actual metal, that there's another element in my journal. And I'm going to use cereal bar box and this embossing folder to go on the back, and a photo, and I think I'm going to choose this woman. See, that was pretty fast, wasn't it? So let me just slice down here, although I love her, but I'm going to take this fancy pants up at the top. I'm going to cut this out. That was something to think about, that I'm going to try and cut a square into this, so I could have cut this larger. Now I'm going to actually have to cut my hole a little smaller. Live and learn. So, how big is the hole? The hole should be, I think I can get away with 1 3/4 by 2 7/8. Now I'm going to go a little bigger. Yeah, I'm safe. It's at 2 7/8. So 1 3/4 by 2 7/8. I'm going to go cut a little template. All right, let's see how I did. All right, that will work. I'll probably cheat a little bit more to the top. So now, taking this, I don't know what size I'm actually going to do with this, but it all stems on my being able to cut a decent square into this tin. So I'm going to tape it down. I have some washi tape here somewhere that I'm not in love with, that I should use instead of stuff like this, which I actually do like, but I can't find it now. So painter's tape would also do the job. Okay, I'm just going to tape this right into place, which we're going to say is about there, and hope that it's reasonably straight and centered. Close enough. Can't tell. All the swirls, all the lines. I could measure because yes, I am that neurotic. 3/4 of an inch to less than 3/4 of an inch. So either something isn't straight, which is likely, but that was really not straight. And just shy of 3/4, and still just shy of 3/4. We're going with this. Okay, so I'm going to leave this here, and I'm going to get a stronger utility knife. Although it may not even matter. I'm going to try it with my dulling X-Acto and see if I can cut this. Let's see, did it cut? No. So, utility knife. And again, I don't even know if I can cut this way. But I kind of feel like, well, I cut it with scissors to get it not to be a can anymore. So I can always cut it with scissors if I could get in there. That feels like it's cutting. Yes, that feels like it's cutting. Let's see. Are you cutting? Yes, you are cutting. So now I'm going to do the two sides so I can leave the tape part on until the very end. I come here. And again, you want to be very careful to not slice things that you'd like to keep together, like fingers. There we go. I'll come back to this side if I need to after I do this last one before it releases itself. I feel like it's a little tricky with all the bumps to get a good cut, but that should be close enough. Because this also, it's the kind of metal that a few bends and it'll take it right out. Like so, a little twist, you know the deal. All right, so now let's do this, get rid of the tape. Okay, there we go. All right, so now I want to emboss this side of the card, and I want to do it in a way that still leaves room open. So I'm only going to emboss it partially. And let me see how big is this? Okay, so that's good to know. So I'm going to emboss this top, and then if you wanted to, it'll be this way. You could still write. Maybe I'll do the bottom. Either way, I'm going to do one of these vertical edges. So to do that, I'm simply going to, I'm going to want to mist this. Where's my mister? I'll figure it out. But I also want to get a piece of painter's tape. I have this at the ready. And my mister is here somewhere. There it is. Just under stuff. All right, so I will, it's almost empty. All right, so I said I was going to do one of the bottoms, and let's do it 2 rows up. 1, 2, Yeah, let's do it till about there. And take, yeah, let's do it till about there. Okay, so I have to think about this because I want to do the side I want up. So I'm going to go with about here, and that will leave me a few inches that if I wanted to journal or yeah, collage something on a flatter part. Getting the tape out later. Let's do that. Okay, let's see how it goes. Into here, as before. Wow, that feels like nothing. Like seriously, nothing is happening. So where's my little shim? Somewhere I have a little piece of paper. I'll just use this, just to keep it. Let's go the other way. It didn't feel like it was doing anything at all. That felt better. All right. So let's see how we did. Yeah, it's there. It's a little light, but it's there. Take off the edge. All right, so can you see it? It's very pretty. All right, now I am gonna do my thing with ink, but I'll do that next. So now I need my photo, and I want this to go on that side. I'm going to tape her in like so. I want to see the top of her hat. There we go. All right, so a little of that washi tape. And again, I'm going to use a spray adhesive to stick the metal to the cardboard. And I'll be using Super 77. Did I show you that slowly enough? There, Super 77 adhesive. And I spray it out, not in the house. So, although I do spray it in the house sometimes. I do have a spray box, a handmade one. Okay, well, we're just gonna put this on here. I do want to see her hat. All right, so she is stuck on now. And I'm going to go and spray the back of all of this and then adhere it to this. So I'll be right back. Okay, I gave it a good strong coating. So now this pattern here, I'm going to align with the top. I was going to do it on the bottom, but I don't know where the bottom is going to wind up because I have to cut this off. So rather than guess, I'm just going to do it this way. So now, that's really sticky, be aware. I'm going to rub the flat part definitely and then burnish this part a little so it is aligned. Now this I'm letting dry. I really want to cut this off so I don't have sticky things everywhere. And this of course is my little adhesive indicator that I can cut adhesives with these scissors, that they're for that purpose. So I'm cutting the tin can that has spray adhesive on it. And I'm going to throw it away. All right, so now we wait. And I'm going to cut it further. This gets cut off, so it'll be just the decorated part. And let's do that. So I am going to wait till it dries so I don't gunk up my paper cutter, which is how I'm ultimately going to cut this, so that I cut each of these together without missing a spot. So let's let that dry for a few and come back. All right, so again, we want to let this dry a full 24 hours before we ask it to do anything. That's how long it really takes for the bond. But we're going to go ahead. So it's dry enough to cut. I don't think it's gunky in there. And so I'm going to go do that first. And I'm just going to trim off these sides and somewhere on the bottom. All right, she's already looking so special. Now we're going to, with the small, or maybe the big one for this, it's pretty big. So I'm using the 1/2 inch corner rounder to come in here. I usually use the 1/4 inch. I tend to like small rounded corners, but for this we went big. Living large. All right, so that's really pretty. I'm still going to grommet, I think at least the top, but maybe down here as well, because again, I mean, this will stick, but it also may peel off, like given enough wear and time. So I want to ink first. Just to have it done. Oh, I missed a little cardboard there on the chopper. Let me see if I can clean that up a little. Again, using the, there we go, better. And then I'm going to give this a little rub of ink so it shows up more. It's just a little detail. Could even put like a ribbon or something there, but that's for another day. Okay, so now we don't need to do much to this side. I don't think inking it makes really any difference whatsoever. I love the blue shimmering through. Again, it was a Polar Seltzer water can. So now I do want to put some grommets on each corner. And I feel like I could use these blue. These are real vintage ones. I love them. And I think the shaft is a little smaller than in my last video where I really had to keep opening the hole in the metal. So that should work great. The other option is shiny black. And I really think that this blue will pick up the other blue. So that's what I'm going for. So now it's going to be easier to mark where I want my holes on this back side. And let's see. So it's about 3 1/16. So we'll just smudge a little bit. I'm going to come in, I think, to about here. I really wish I could, how far, it doesn't go very far. So I'm going to come up a little higher, more into the curve here. I'm going to go about here. About 3/8 of an inch in on both sides. It's going to be there and there. And that's looking pretty good. Okay, so we need the big hole. And I can never see this. Like, it doesn't usually go where I think it's going to go. I don't know why I have such a time lining this up. There's one. Two. Not bad. Now we're sticking. Yeah, these fit much better. The old vintage are slightly smaller than the Quick from China that I bought on Amazon. Now we're still on the big A1 settings here. And we want to put this in and make sure it's, there we go. 1, 2. And voila, now this is asking for a bow, don't you think? It's also asking for something down there, but I'm going to leave that for today. So let's see what we can find for a bow. All right, I am experiencing a definite shortage of skinny ribbon. So let me see if I have anything in this bag that, oh, this would be beautiful, but I'm saving that, and it's a little too thick, the velvet. I suppose it could be skinny lace. Could keep it in black. No, not loving that. All right, so let's see what we have. Red, that would be quite striking. very contrasty, maybe too much for me. The pink is kind of girly, but better than white, I think. Let's see. Well, the white's not bad, and if we brown up the white, I might not hate it. So let me just use the back of this. And let's give this a good change of heart. I do both sides. Again, just so it even just looks dirty, like it's been in the world. And this isn't its first rodeo, whatever that means. Okay, this will have to do. And it's impermanent. I can always change it again. So since I know I want it to come out on this side, I could make it a little hanging bow. Well, we'll start with that, and we'll see what happens. So no, just gonna make it. No, actually, I'm expecting it to go inside a journal, not hang. So I'm gonna just do it this way. Here we go with my bow making skills, which are slightly better than my knot making skills. Slightly, she says. Go back through there. Okay. Now we're going to pull this down. You know, I didn't learn to tie my shoes properly till I was 53 years old. I'm serious. There's a right way to go with where you put the loops, and I always, for the whole of my life, went the other way, which is why my shoes came untied. Now, the bow sits straight across the laces, and they don't come untied. It was remarkable. So if anyone wants to know, please do a Google or a DuckDuck or whatever you do, and you will find the correct way to tie your shoes, no matter how old you are. So I'm loving this. So I think for now, because I'm indecisive, I'm going to just leave the long threads, and there you have it. So this is actual metal and cardboard, and there's room here. I might actually put a nice label here. I think that's what I'm going to do. And then this makes a great tag. It's got a bow, it's got a beautiful woman. The metal really shimmers, and it was a great use for a soda can and a cereal box. There you go.